it's Bunny, and I'm just coming on here to talk about how women who feel disadvantaged and don't have pretty privilege will stop at nothing to make you feel that you are a white supremacist and turn everyone against you. But before I get into that, I want you to watch this influencer Slim Kim talk about how being skinny is her personal vice, and some reactions to her comments that I will be analyzing.
My favorite thing to be is skinny. And I fear you cannot say that out loud, but it is my favorite thing to be, and it is my favorite fear to not be. And this is just for me personally. This is all personal to me. But I just wanted to say it out loud because honestly, it's all I think about. It's all I think about. Okay, favorite thing to be is skinny. And I fear you cannot say that out loud, but it is my favorite thing to be.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Firstly, I want to get this out of the way. Being or wanting to be skinny is not fascism, and is an insult to those who have lived or are currently living under fascist regimes, such as North Korea's. The fact that as American women with rights, a roof over their heads, access to food and water, the internet and all these other luxuries, can come on the internet to leisurely call someone a fascist from the comfort of their home, just goes to show how out of touch these women are, and how unbelievably privileged they are. Now on to the Bonetta in the first clip. Some of you will say I'm mean, but when I saw her appearance I was not at all surprised at how she victimized herself over a 30-second clip from a woman she does not know personally, and probably will never meet. This type of rhetoric calling pretty girls mean is always coming from Bonettas, because they were made fun of in high school, or tried to pick on the pretty girl, and it backfired. Regarding her caption about Kim's tone. Don't you find it weird that now tone is being brought up by a black woman against another black woman? What happened to not tone policing and how it's racist? Or does that only apply to women who are unfortunate looking? And why does saying you love your body, especially your skinny body, being mean? It's because when you are pretty, skinny, or whatever someone views as a privilege, and you say you love that aspect of yourself, or even if you just exist as a person benefiting from any privileges, you become a target and are bullied into groveling to the unfortunate Bonettas. On to the next perpetual victim. I want to break this down, because I find the psychology of this post, and honestly her entire page, so interesting. The text immediately points out Kim's skin tone, which is so common for unambiguous black women to do despite claiming it's MLS people who are obsessed with skin tone. I truly believe she brought up her skin tone, and her being first-generation African, as a way to take her down a peg, and remind her to get her black ass over here with the rest of us. The next line she generalizes, and says that Kim wanting to be skinny is a form of assimilation since her identity, skin tone and heritage cannot be changed. It's as if this girl thinks that being fat means being more African, and if no one is going to say it, I will. This is the reason black people have some of the highest rates of obesity, because of the propaganda that being skinny, eating healthy, or even being vegan, means you are whitewashed and not in touch with your roots. This is such a lie because I've been to Africa several times and majority of people are skinny. The only people who are fat are older people who have had children, and those who eat a lot of processed foods and don't work out. I find it interesting that we're constantly being told not to police black women until it's a woman that they view in being whitewashed and therefore other. And it's even more eye-opening when she then writes that assimilating is easier, and is not a new concept, as if Kim is stupid and pointing out the obvious. But not once did Kim mention assimilation or whiteness. It was in fact fellow unambiguous black women who brought this up, and effectively centered whiteness in this conversation. Do you notice that it's always the most seemingly pro-black people who are the most white-centered? Then she centers herself, making herself the perpetual victim, and rhetorically mentions that her comment is like her saying her 4C intensely textured hair. Notice how she has to make sure you understand that it's really textured and not normal 4C, so she can get more victim brownie points. And imagine she said her favorite thing is a relaxer. What this shows about her psychology is that she is a typical social justice warrior and has to police other Black women, who she views as being more privileged than her, as a way for her to social climb and keep other Black women at the bottom. I looked through her page, and it was all think pieces disguised as some deep intellectual thoughts, when really this is her and many of these other women's way of social climbing, via victimizing themselves and others under the guise of intellectual critiques of people and society. I think all these women coming for Kim are horrible social climbers and social justice warriors, since they can't even follow their own talking points about tone policing. Anyways, I hope you liked this video. Please comment, like and subscribe if you would like to hear more from me.